Welcome to the 6th Karachi Literature Festival. I'd like to invite our speakers to come on stage, and as I call their name, would they please come on stage? I'd like to request Ameena Saiyid, founder and director of Karachi Literature Festival and managing director, Oxford University Press, to please come on stage. May I request Dr. Asif Farrukhi, co-founder Karachi Literature Festival, to please come on stage. Mr. Ghazi Salahuddin, I Am Karachi Consortium member and journalist, to please come on stage. May I request His Excellency Mr. Adriano Chiodi Cianfarani, Ambassador of Italy, to please come on stage. May I request His Excellency Dr. Cyril Nunn, Ambassador of the Federal Republic of Germany, to please come on stage. May I also request Mr. Brian Heath, U.S. Consul General Karachi, to please come on stage. May I also request Mr. Robin Davis, Director for Sindh and Baluchistan, British Council, to come on stage. May I request Ms. Martine Herlm Hamidi, Counselor for Cooperation and Cultural Affairs, Embassy of France in Pakistan, to please come on stage. May I request Mr. Atif Bhutto of Coca-Cola Pakistan marketing team to please come on stage. Lastly, if His Excellency, beg your pardon, if Mr. Thilo Klinner, the Consul General for the German Consul General for Karachi, if he's here, to please come on stage. Well, let us begin our inaugural program this evening. I'd like to request our keynote speakers, Ms. Nayantara Sahgal and Ms. Zehra Nigah, to please take their seats on the stage. And Managing Director, Oxford University Press, Pakistan, to give her welcome address.
Thank you. Ms. Nayantara Sahgal, Mr. Ghazi Salahuddin, I am Karachi Consortium member and journalist. His Excellency Mr. Cianfarani, Ambassador of Italy. Martine Herlm Hamidi, Cultural Counselor, Embassy of France. Dr. Asif Farrukhi, Mr. Atif Bhutto. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. A very warm welcome to all of you and to our wonderful authors who are here from Pakistan, the UK, the US, Russia, India, Germany, France, and Bangladesh. And a very warm welcome to Ms. Nayantara Sahgal, who has come here from Dehradun. So here we are at the 6th Karachi Literature Festival to once again present you with an incredible array of ideas and pay tribute to books, reading, writers, scholars, research, and the arts. Festivals such as the KLF are a part of democracy because they stimulate dialogue and the exchange of ideas, which in turn promote understanding, harmony, and inclusiveness. We want our authors to have voice, visibility, and readership, and to be treated like the celebrities which they are. We want genuine and not fake editions of their books to be bought and read so that they can be compensated for their intellectual labor and copyright. People say that the reading habit is declining, but last year, 70,000 people attended the Karachi Literature Festival, and books sold like hotcakes. This shows that books are a popular and powerful vehicle of culture and intellect. The word festival is the operative word. This is not a seminar or conference or convention. This is a festival, a gala event, a fete, a carnival of the mind. And the word festival suggests variety and diversity, color, vitality, and enjoyment. And somebody told me last night that the Karachi Literature Festival reminds me of Basant in Lahore. The American theatrical producer, David Binder, said, festivals promote diversity. They bring neighbors into dialogue. They increase creativity. They offer opportunities for civic pride. They improve our general psychological well-being. In short, they make cities better places to live. I believe that our Karachi Literature Festival, or KLF, will do that. It will make Karachi a better place to live, and hopefully along with it, this country. Launched in 2010, KLF remains free and open to all. It brings together Pakistani and international authors writing in a variety of local, national, and international languages. It features fiction, prose, poetry, commentary, and analysis, along with debates, discussions, talks, mushairas, a book fair, readings, signings, film screenings, and so much more, including song, dance, and music. The ancient storytelling art of Dastan Goi is also featured and proves that the power of storytelling has survived through the centuries, whatever the form of dissemination. Over 30 books will be launched here at the KLF. Over 200 authors and scholars will share their views with us. I'll just pause because Dr. Thilo Klinner has just, please come and join us. Consul General of Germany and Ambassador Nun of Germany have just joined us. Welcome, Ambassador Nun and Dr. Thilo Klinner. Dr. Klinner, would you like to come and join us on the stage? As I said, over 30 books will be launched over here, and over 200 authors and scholars will share their views with us. There are children's events. There will also be a parallel series of art-related events curated by Art Now under the KLF umbrella. Each year, KLF has grown in numbers of visitors from roughly 5,000 in 2010 to 70,000 in 2014. Each year, the speakers have been outstanding, and they have the keynote speakers, and they have included Shamsur Rahman Farrukhi, Karen Armstrong, William Dalrymple, Nadeem Aslam, Intizar Hussain, and last year, Dr. Raj Mohan Gandhi. This year, our keynote speaker will be the renowned Indian author, Nayantara Sahgal, author of 9 novels, 7 works of non-fiction, and countless political commentaries. She is the niece of India's founding Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the daughter of his beloved sister, Vijayalakshmi Pandit. Our other keynote speaker who should be joining us is Karachi's celebrated and much loved poet and scriptwriter, Zehra Nigah, popularly known as Zehra Appa. Zehra Appa's poem about India-Pakistan relations, Samjhote Ki Chadar, is one of my favorites. Thank you for your gracious presence, Nayantara Sahiba. Awards will be given to Pakistani authors for 3 different categories for 2015. The KLF Coca-Cola Best Fiction Book Prize, the KLF Embassy of Pakistan Best Fiction Prize, the Coca-Cola is Best Non-Fiction, then the French Embassy is Best Fiction, and the KLF Peace Prize. The jury members for these prizes include some of Pakistan's most eminent critics, writers, and scholars. At KLF, we pay tribute to several themes: education, human rights, friendship between nations, expression in the form of fiction, non-fiction, poetry, music, dance, and the composite culture of the subcontinent. KLF was co-founded by Asif, Farrukhi, and myself in 2010 with strong support from the British Council. It is produced by Oxford University Press, which is a department of the University of Oxford. OUP's aims are to further Oxford University's objective of excellence in research, scholarship, and education by publishing worldwide. We publish in many countries in more than 40 languages and in a variety of formats, print and digital. Our books cover a broad academic and educational spectrum, and we publish for all audiences from preschool up to university level, as well as for general readers and research scholars. Karachi, once known as the City of Lights, and despite having a history of a vibrant cultural and intellectual life, now unfortunately experiences a significant decrease in both physical and intellectual spaces for cultural engagement and enjoyment. As a response, concerned Karachi citizens have come together under a common platform, I Am Karachi, to bring peace back to Karachi. Through the KLF, we wish to show solidarity with the I Am Karachi campaign and demonstrate our commitment towards the physical and intellectual reclaiming of the city for a peaceful Karachi. We hope that the KLF would become a movement in Pakistan, and I'm delighted to see that many such festivals have been born, such as the Lahore Literature Festival, the Islamabad Literature Festival, the Children's Literature Festival, and the Teachers' Literature Festival. And now, a literature festival was held in Faisalabad, another was held in Gwadar, and I would ask people from every town and city across Pakistan to have and to own their own literature festivals and make this celebration into a movement. I would like to thank some of our I'd like to thank our sponsors. Excuse me. Without support from these sponsors, this would not have been possible. This year's festival is being held in support of I Am Karachi Peace Campaign. I would like to thank the Consulate General of the Federal Republic of Germany, the Goethe Institute, and the Embassy of the Federal Republic of Germany in Islamabad, the US Embassy in Islamabad, the US Consulate General, the Embassy of France in Islamabad, the Consulate General of France, Karachi, Alliance Française, Karachi, the British Deputy High Commission, Karachi, the British Council, the American Institute of Pakistan Studies, South Asian Institute, the University of Texas at Austin, the Embassy of Italy in Islamabad, the Consulate of Italy in Karachi, Coca-Cola, Art Now, Tehzeeb Foundation, and Tapal Danejar. Thank you very much for joining us here today, and let us open our hearts to receive ideas, and as Gandhi said, be the change we want to see. Thank you and Assalamu alaikum.
May I now request Dr. Asif Farrukhi, co-founder Karachi Literature Festival, to give his welcome address.
Ms. Nayantara Sahgal and Ms. Zehra Nigah, distinguished dignitaries on the stage and honorable diplomats, respectable writers, thinkers, presenters, performers, and no less important than anybody else, you, the necessary reader. Friends, folks, Khawatino Hazrat, Assalamu alaikum. It's a characteristic Karachi evening, mild and well-tempered, as I stand here before you to herald the opening of the Karachi Literature Festival for the 6th time round. True blue Karachiites recognize this hour of the day as the time when the stale and stifling air begins to move as the breeze from the sea sets in, letting the city breathe in with a relaxed and more natural rhythm. With this sign of change at the back of my mind, I consider it appropriate to speak of the KLF, as it has come to be called, with a great deal of affection and some brickbats. It was a desire to let in fresh winds and to drive out the old and the inert. And yes, things have been moving since then. When Ameena, Saiyid and I started talking about an event to celebrate books and writing, we did not imagine the scale and the continuity, as people have been since then voting with their feet to visit this in increasing numbers. Back then, we were completely surprised by the 500,000 people which turned up. Now the numbers have grown manyfold, and who can say which new dazzling heights this will take us up to this time. उस वक्त भी हम अंधेरे और नावाक़फ़ियत का गिला कर रहे थे. हमें ना तब खबर थी और ना उस वक्त भी अंदाज़ा था कि जिसको फैज़ ने कहा है शबे सुस्त मौज, उसका साहिल कहाँ जाके थमेगा. ये 6 साल का अरसा हमें बहुत कुछ बता कर जा रहा है. इस अरसे में हमने न जाने कितनी किताबों की बातें की हैं, लेकिन किताब को अपनी हैसियत खोते हुए, बेवक़्त होते हुए और पसपा होते हुए भी देख रहे हैं. हमारे ज़माने में किताब के साथ वो फरागत और गोशे चमन वाली कैफियत शायद बाकी नहीं रह सकी. ख़याल अफरोज़ और खिरद अंगेज़ किताब रोशनी की हिमायत में उस जद्दोजहद की अलामत बन गई है जो हम सब की इज्तिमाई तकदीर है और निजाते दीदा व दिल की ज़ामिन भी. हम चाहते हैं कि किताब के वरक़ जगमगाते रहें, अंधेरों में गुम ना हो जाएं. ये 6 साल इसी कोशिश का एक छोटा सा हिस्सा हैं. लेकिन ये 6 साल मुझे ऐसा लगता है 6 सवाल हैं, ऐसे सवाल जिनका हल हमें ख़ुद तलाश करना है, क्योंकि सवालों का जवाब देने वाला कोई हातम ताई हमारी मदद को अब नहीं आएगा. यूं भी हातम ताई और शहज़ादी हुस्न आरा कब के रुखसत हुए. उनकी जगह वो नूरानी चेहरे आ गए जो मीडिया की बदौलत हमारे आपके कमरों में बराह रास्त पहुँच कर तमाम गुफ्तगू ख़त्म कर देते हैं. कोई क्या कहे और क्या सुने, लेकिन खामोशी का कोई वक्फ़ा आता है और जैसे छठा सवाल फिर गूंजने लगता है. कोई है जो जाए और कोहे निदा की खबर लाए. अय्याहुन्नास, चलो कोहे निदा की जानिब. कोहे निदा से एक अनजानी आवाज़ बरामद होती है और शहर की खलकत उस आवाज़ की जानिब चल पड़ती है, अपनी हलाकत की जानिब. वो आवाज़ पुकारे जाती है और लोग जोक दर जोक उस सम चले जाते हैं. मेरी आँखें उस हातम ताई को ढूंढती हैं जो इस कोहे निदा के गिर्द कहानी का ताना बाना बना देगा. कहानी बन जाएगी तो कोहे निदा का भेद खुल जाएगा. लोग उसकी जानिब रुख करना छोड़ देंगे. मगर हम किस कदर बेएतबार लोग हैं. हमें कहानी पर एतबार ना रहा, किताब पर एतबार नहीं रहा. इसलिए हम धोखा देने वाली आवाज़ों के सहर में मुब्तला होते चले जा रहे हैं. इस वक्त मुझे एक छोटी सी नज़म याद आ रही है, हिंदुस्तान के उर्दू के बहुत बड़े जदीद शायर अख्तरुल ईमान की नज़म. इस नज़म का नाम है तवक्कुल. आसमानों से मदद आएगी उम्मीद रखो, फ़तह नुसरत के लिए सब्र की तस्बीह पढ़ो. अपने सब काम हर एक बात खुदा पर छोड़ो. सीढ़ियाँ दर्द की बस उतरो चढ़ो, उतरो चढ़ो. अज़्म फालिद ज़दा हैं गर न हो ताले बेदार. ज़ीस्त है बन गली चाहे जिधर जैसे बढ़ो. ऐसा कुछ होता है महसूस बहुत बार मगर, ऐसा कुछ होता है महसूस बहुत बार मगर, ज़हन सरकश है भला हार कहाँ मानता है. इस बार भी हमारा ज़हन सरकश है, हमने हार नहीं मानी है. आइए हमारे साथ इस जश्न अदब में शरीक रहिए, क्योंकि अब हम हार नहीं मानेंगे.
I'd just like to invite Mr. Brian Heath, the US Consul General Karachi, to join us on stage. Thank you. May I now request Mr. Ghazi Salahuddin, IM Karachi Consortium member and journalist, to give his speech.
आसिफ फर्रुखी ने जो अपनी गुफ्तगू की और उसमें उर्दू बोली उन्होंने, और तो मुझे ये लगा कि चलें मैं भी इस डोरी को थाम कर 2-4 कदम चलूं। और ये मैं यहाँ इसलिए हूँ कि IM कराची, जो कराची कंसोर्शियम है, उसकी नुमाइंदगी करूँ। और दरअसल एक बात जो मैं कहना चाहता हूँ सबसे पहले वो ये है कि आप सब लोग जो यहाँ जमा हैं और वो लोग जो कल होंगे, जो परसों होंगे, जो यहाँ एक नई दुनिया में सांस लेंगे, हम सब कराची हैं। और मेरी अपनी कहानी, कराची की कहानी इस तरह है कि मैंने सारी ज़िंदगी यहाँ गुजारी है और मैं ख़ुद को इसका नौहगर भी समझता हूँ और वाक़या नवीस भी। और जितनी बार मैंने कराची का मातम किया है उतनी ही बार मैंने इसका जश्न भी मनाया। और अब ये देखिए कि ये शहर अपनी जगह बिल्कुल एक अछूता शहर है। कोई और ऐसा शहर जनूबी एशिया में नहीं है। इसमें सब कुछ है लेकिन शायद इसमें मोहब्बत नहीं है। और इसीलिए हमने कराची कंसोर्शियम का आगाज़ किया है। एंड टू इंट्रोड्यूस दिस कराची कंसोर्शियम, we have 30 of us have got together. We are the founding members, and then we have other members and partner organizations. And the idea is to make a civil society initiative to bring peace to Karachi. And these 30 foundation members represent different fields of activity, different sectors. They are all very distinguished Karachiites. And all of them have been contributing to the welfare of Karachi, to promoting peace in Karachi, to improving the quality of life in Karachi in their own spheres. The idea is to bring them all together and create an initiative whose time I think has come, because Karachi is in a dire strait. Karachi needs a civil society initiative. Karachi needs that civil society should come together. There has been too much isolation, fragmentation, people drifting apart. And we have to come together and save, as Ameena Saiyid said about the cultural spaces in Karachi, we have to protect those spaces. And in the Karachi consortium, we have a definite plan. We are going for a registration of the society. We will need your support. And I think Karachi Consortium has a presence on this venue. I will only touch upon 2 or 3 points. One point is that the battle for Pakistan is being fought in Karachi, will be fought in Karachi, and if we win that battle, Pakistan will survive. Karachi, as it is mini Pakistan. But considering the kind of creativity, the kind of ambition, the kind of passion that a large city like Karachi has, it has to be brought into, I would say that let us all mobilize our dreams, our aspirations, and send them into battle against militancy, against intolerance, against obscurantism. Because this battle has to be fought. It's a very dire situation, as I said. It's a do or die situation. So that's one point. The other point is that the battle has to be fought on the social and cultural front. I believe that the crisis of Pakistan is not so much political as it is a moral and intellectual crisis. And that is how the literature festival becomes important, because we have to read books, deal with ideas, learn to dream, to expand our imagination. And the present situation is such, I'm reminded of that quotation from Yeats. It seems, and as the poet said, the best lack all conviction, and the worst are full of passionate intensity. In this situation, we have to come together and try and reclaim the public spaces instead of being able to do our things within enclosed, protected areas. And the Karachi Consortium has to go to the grassroots. And we have various plans in hand about creating a discourse. So the main purpose is to create an environment in this city in which a rational discourse is possible, which is not. And for that, we'll have to battle with this environment of fear in which we live. Because freedom from fear is a fundamental human right, and we must work for it. And I think that you'll meet many Karachi Consortium members during the course of the next 2 days. And meanwhile, of course, we are together in promoting the ideals of the Karachi Literature Festival. And I'll conclude with one of my favorite quotations by South American writer Borges. And he said, I have always imagined that paradise will be a kind of a library. Thank you.
Okay. Mic on. May I now request His Excellency Mr. Adriano Chiodi Cianfarani, Ambassador of Italy, to give his speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. It is for me a great privilege and pleasure to attend for the third time the Karachi Literature Festival inauguration ceremony and to address such a great audience. I'm sure that we are all enthusiastic and eager to attend the multiple and diverse events that will go on in the next couple of days. Let me first praise and commend the wonderful work done by the KLF director, Mrs. Ameena Saiyid, and by Asif Farrukhi, co-founder of the KLF, as well as by their team. It is especially thanks to their incredible efforts and to the outstanding quality of speakers they're managing to bring to Karachi that this festival has proven to be one of the most interesting and promising cultural events of the subcontinent. For the sixth consecutive year, KLF welcomes us in Karachi to discover the newest trend and titles of the Pakistani, regional and international literature and to take part in lively debates and discussions. Literature has always played an important role in linking faraway countries and allowing different cultures to better understand each other. The memory of words, their evocative power, makes you realize how important language is and how it can affect people's life. As for Italy, the works of many great Pakistani authors translated into Italian, becoming instant hits, are contributing strongly in bridging geographical distances, allowing the Italian public to better understand Pakistan and its rich culture and history, complex society, and current reality. In such framework, the Karachi Literature Festival hence plays an important role in bringing diverse realities closer. But not only literature, KLF is also featuring debates, discussions, conversations, and lectures that's proving to be a lively and interactive platform for exchange of views on prominent themes, ranging from politics to cinema, from art to cultural diplomacy. Free, open, and constructive debates help bridging people and building cross-border and cross-country ties. Cultural chasms are best dealt by building cultural bridges. And therefore, very proud that Italy is co-sponsoring for the third time running this very important event. The Italian support to the festival comes in the framework of close cultural ties between Pakistan and Italy. After 2.5 years as an Italian ambassador to Pakistan, let me say that there are emotional and not only political, economical, and cultural ties between Italy and Pakistan. Sponsoring the KLF comes natural to a country like Italy that Kissinger once defined as the world's cultural superpower. Indeed, Italy did give birth to some of the most influential literary and artistic movements in the history. From antiquity until at least to all the 16th century, the Italian peninsula was a central place of Western culture, harbor or origin of universal phenomena as the Roman Empire, humanism, and Renaissance. During these times, Italy produced some of the greatest painters, sculptors, poets, musicians, mathematicians, architects in history. And just to stick to the literature, think to Dante and Guido Cavalcanti, Dolce Stil Novo, which set literary standards in Europe and the whole of the Middle Age. We read these writers, but we now also read Pakistani authors who write in English or get translated from Urdu into Italian. Growing is in Italy the awareness of the width and the value of the Pakistani literature. And let me say that its literature is greatly contributing to project a much softer image of the country abroad. To this extent, I believe that today's event, as is equally the case with the similar ones due to take place in the months ahead, is a value added for today's and tomorrow's Pakistan. All the more, allow me to wish to this year's edition of the KLF the best of success and to all the participants to enjoy in the next few days dedicated literature and books. Thank you for your very kind attention and enjoy the KLF. Thank you very much.
May I now request His Excellency Dr. Cyril Nunn, Ambassador of the Federal Republic of Germany, to give his address.
Good evening. Thank you very much for having invited us, dear Ameena Saiyid, dear Asif Farrukhi. It's the 5th time Germany participates to this festival, and this festival, you should know, is a very good counter-image of Pakistan in the world. 3 years ago, there was a German author who participated here, Navid Kermani, and he wrote a series of articles in major German newspapers about this festival, about the city, and about the country. Last year it was the same, and I'm sure this year again, this festival and this city will help to give another picture of Pakistan to the world, and at least certainly also to Germany. And therefore, it's really important that it exists, that it takes place again. We are very proud to be associated. We will this year sponsor also for the 2nd time the Peace Prize. And we are very happy to see some Germans participating again this year. Professor Wasim Fremdgen is among us. He's a specialist of Sufi culture. Mrs. Andrea Backhaus, who is a journalist from the Deutsche Welle, is among us. And for the first time, we have also a collaboration or a participation of our representatives of the Literature Festival of Berlin, Mr. Schreiber, which is very nice because this is the opening for a collaboration between these two literature festivals. Having said that, I wanted just to wish us all 2 or 3 days of good debates and of fruitful exchanges. Thank you again for listening to me.
May I now request Mr. Brian Heath, U.S. Consul General, Karachi, to give his speech.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and assalamu alaikum. And what a wonderful evening it is. The lawn here at the Karachi, or at the Avari here in Karachi is one of my favorite spots in Karachi. And I can't think of a better time of the day, a better time of year to be here to inaugurate the 6th annual Karachi Literature Festival. It is indeed an honor for me to speak here tonight at the inauguration of the 6th annual Literature Festival, as I had said. Since its inception, since 2010, the festival has become one of the most anticipated and important cultural events of the year, both in Karachi and I think indeed throughout Pakistan. Just last evening, I was speaking with Ameena about the festival, and I realized that the sense of anticipation in Karachi that I felt was very similar to the sense of anticipation I remember feeling in Lahore in the days leading up to Basant. But of course, Basant as a festival dates back many, many years, and the festival here in Karachi dates back only 6. And so I think it speaks to the tremendous impact and influence the festival's had, that in such a short time it can bring to a city that same sense of anticipation. And so, so well done, Ameena, to you and your staff. And of course, one reason the Karachi Literature Festival is so popular is that it brings together a diversity of writers, intellectuals, artists, and the public. The American author J.D. Salinger, and I'm sure many of you here have read The Catcher in the Rye, which I think is on many schools' curriculums, has a quote. And at one time he said, "What really knocks me out is a book that, when you're all done reading it, you wish the author that wrote it was a terrific friend of yours, someone you could call up on the phone whenever you felt like it. That doesn't happen much, though." Well, ladies and gentlemen, that happens here at the Karachi Literature Festival, where the authors are present and you can talk to them and you can engage with them. So J.D. Salinger, I think, would be proud, happy, and very comfortable to be with us here in Karachi today. Through dialogue, discussion, screenings, writing workshops, debates, talks, performances, and much, much more, the festival celebrates the dynamicism and diversity of Pakistan. These interactions and platforms resonate with the audience in attendance here and with society more widely. The tagline of this year's festival is bringing together international and Pakistani writers to showcase writing at its best. And I'm very pleased that the American Consulate is, for the 3rd year, a sponsor of the festival. In addition to sponsoring the festival this year, we've helped to bring some people to attend and participate in the festival, including the director of the International Writing Program at the University of Iowa, along with several alumni of that program. Now, many of you may be familiar with the program. It enjoys quite a good reputation around the world, and the program is a renowned writers' residency program that brings together both established and emerging artists from across the world. And since 1967, over 1,400 writers from more than 140 countries, including several from Pakistan, have been in residence at the University of Iowa. We're delighted that the program's director, Christopher Merle, and several alumni are here with us today in Karachi. Chris and the alumni will be participating in several programs and panels over the course of the next few days, and I strongly encourage you to attend some of those sessions if you have the time. The Consulate's support of the Karachi Literature Festival underscores the importance of reading at home, in the classroom, at the office, and among different communities. It also highlights the United States government's commitment to Pakistan in terms of education and culture. For example, the United States Agency for International Development is funding the Pakistan Reading Program. And that's a 5-year, $160 million program, a national level program here in Pakistan, to improve the reading ability, that hopes to improve and strives to improve the reading ability of more than 1 million children throughout Pakistan. Similarly, USAID, here in partnership with the government of Sindh, is working on the Sindh Basic Education Program, which is a comprehensive package at a cost of $165 million to increase and sustain student enrollment in primary, middle, and secondary schools in 7 districts throughout Sindh and in 5 towns here in Karachi. And of course, it's our intent, the US government's intent, that by investing in Pakistan's youth, we're making a wise investment in Pakistan's future. And just in conclusion, I want to acknowledge and congratulate the founders of the festival, Ameena and Asif, along with the organizers at Oxford University Press and all the staff who really made the festival this year and in previous years such a success. It is truly thanks to their creativity, ambition, and determination that the Karachi Literature Festival so successfully celebrates literature, education, reading, and culture, both in Pakistan and from around the world. Thank you for your attention. Enjoy this year's festival, and Khuda Hafiz.
May I now request Mr. Robin Davis, Director for Sindh and Baluchistan British Council, to give his speech.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, good evening. I'm absolutely delighted to be here at the major cultural event of Karachi, arguably Pakistan. Tonight is the opening, of course, but I am very aware that Ameena, Asif, Oxford University Press and others have actually been busy since last May putting this programme together. Representing the British Council, I feel a bit of a cheat because I only arrived in Karachi about 10 days ago and I can claim absolutely no credit at all for anything that's going to happen over the next 3 days. However, I'm delighted that the British Council was here at the very first festival 6 years ago. I hope to see at least another 2, and I assure you that my successors will be as committed as my predecessors in the future. Why the British Council should support this event is probably very obvious to those of you who know what the British Council does. For those of you less familiar with the British Council, let me just say that we busy ourselves with any activity or programme that supports education and culture, well-being and the cultural heritage of Pakistan. We support the government, local institutions, we create educational opportunities for the young people of Pakistan, and we generally build trust between the people of UK and Pakistan, and this is what we call cultural relations. And I echo what Ameena said in her opening remarks. The arts are fundamental elements of an open and healthy society, and artistically thriving societies tend to be more democratic, more egalitarian, more economically more robust, and to have much more fulfilled and healthier citizens, leading to innovative collaborations, institutional links, new networks, and connections that blossom. I'm delighted on behalf of the UK to welcome 2 authors, John Kay, an eminent historian of South Asia, and also Alex Preston, an award-winning novelist, journalist, and a lecturer in creative writing. And also we welcome Jude Kelly, who is the artistic director of the South Bank Centre in London. And this is a centre, I think it's the largest cultural institute in the UK, absolutely committed to creating and to building and retaining relationships between UK and South Asia and Pakistan. Now actually, I've got a confession to make. I didn't actually complete reading a book all the way through until I was about 16 years old. My father used to take me as a young boy to the library every Saturday, and he used to choose a book for me, and he thought I read it. And I never touched it, never opened it. And he would take me the following Saturday, and he would choose me another book, which I also didn't read. But I grew up in Liverpool in the 1960s. And we lived alongside an Indian community. And our next door neighbour was a wonderful Indian lady who I only knew as Auntie Delhi. And I still remember her today as Auntie Delhi. And she told wonderful stories. And she used to tell me wonderful stories about the subcontinent and South Asia and India. And I don't know if she made up the stories, I dare say she did. There was one particular story which I'll share with you, and it was about a little boy called Epaminondas, and I don't know if I've got the pronunciation right. And Epaminondas lived with his grandmother somewhere in South Asia. It could be Pakistan for all I know of today. And Epaminondas was very naughty, very daring, and he always had dangerous adventures. And one day he was walking home with some bread to his village to see his grandmother, and there was a tiger. And the tiger caught scent of the bread, or perhaps of Epaminondas himself, and chased him. So scared out of his wits, he started to run. And of course, the tiger caught up with him. And the only thing he could do to escape the tiger was to run round a tree. And being more nimble than the tiger, he raced round the tree faster than the tiger could, and the tiger never caught him up. And it went so fast round the tree that the tiger actually melted. And it melted into an orangey, yellowy liquid. And Epaminondas stopped, looked at the liquid, dipped his finger in it, and it was honey. And he dipped the bread in the honey, and that was his lunch. Now, this story has stayed with me for over 50 years. But the point is, it's such a defining moment of my life, because from that moment onwards, there was something born inside of me that wanted me to go and taste and feel and sense and see and hear other cultures. Which raises the point, I think, about this festival. And I think this festival raises entertainment to a level of culture. And that's the festival's aim, I guess, to prod and to poke and to explore, to query, to examine, and also to entertain. It's a wonderful programme. We're delighted to be associated with it. Thank you very much, Ameena, again, and Asif. Thank you, fellow sponsors and partners, and thank you, participants. Enjoy the next 3 days. Thank you.
We now come to the part in the program where there will be presentation of awards for the KLF Best Books on Fiction and Non-Fiction. The first award is for the KLF Embassy of France Best Fiction Book Prize for 2015. May I request Ms. Martine Herlem-Hamidi, Counselor for Cooperation and Cultural Affairs, Embassy of France in Pakistan, to give her remarks about the KLF Embassy of France Best Fiction Book Prize.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I just would like to say on behalf of the Embassy of France and Alliance Française de Karachi that we are very proud to be partners of this festival. Everything has been said already. I think it's a wonderful time, and congratulations to Ameena, Asif, and all the team. We're also very proud to award this Best Fiction Prize this year again. It will be the second time. This prize aims at promoting fiction written in English by Pakistani writers, and also, and this is very important for us as well, to promote Pakistani writers, fiction writers in France. This is why the prize will be a full invitation to the Paris Book Fair. But now I'm going to call one of the members of the jury, Framji Minwala, Framji, to come here on the stage and, yes, explain what was the jury's deliberations.
I'd like to read a statement from all four jury members. The jury consisted of myself, Lynette Vikaji, Jean-François Chenin, who is the director of the Alliance Française in Karachi, and Anwar Muraj. Novelist and short story writer Elizabeth Hardwick once said, "The greatest gift is a passion for reading. It is cheap, it consoles, it distracts, it excites, it gives you knowledge of the world and experience of a wide kind. It is a moral illumination." First, we would like to thank the Embassy of France, the Oxford University Press, and all the authors who submitted work for according us this rare opportunity to immerse ourselves in books and thereby indulge our passion for reading. The range of writing we received was in equal measure both inspiring and humbling. We refer not just to the books shortlisted, but also to many of the others. Needless to say, this was a supremely difficult decision. All four shortlisted works merit a wide audience and deserve to be read and reread. And I list them now. Sonia Kamal's tremendous debut novel, An Isolated Incident, chronicles with intuitive depth of feeling how wrecked Kashmiri lives may be healed. Amir Hussain's The Swan's Wife sculpts in exquisite, deceptively simple prose a collection of twined stories about impossible and unrequited loves. The sheer lunacy, sustained ventriloquism, and brilliant inventions of character and plot in Chandana Minhas's Survival Tips for Lunatics breaks considerable new ground for Pakistani children's fiction, and the intricately crafted narrative of betrayal, loss, atonement, and forgiveness in Kamala Shamsi's A God in Every Stone excavates both figuratively and literally a past we dare not forget about a nation about to be born. We say with complete sincerity that if we could, we would award all four a prize. And without equivocation, that Pakistani fiction, both at home and in the diaspora, is alive to the complexities of our interdependent pasts and present, fashioning imaginative realms that seduce and surprise, that give us faith in the capacity of stories to shed light on the murkier corners of our lives. After long and hard deliberation, the judges have selected Chandana Minhas's Survival Tips for Lunatics as the winner of this year's award. Miss Minhas's novel follows in the footsteps of Rudyard Kipling and Georges Remy, the inventor of Tintin, creator of Tintin. Set in the dark heart of Baluchistan, the novel navigates with wit, verve, control, and passion the gnawing anxieties experienced by those children inside all of us who don't want to grow up, those children thrust into a treacherous world with neither a parachute nor life preserver. Narrated by a not-so-innocent, supremely eloquent, improbably named 12-year-old Changiz Khan, the novel confronts with honesty, urgency, and courage the everyday schizophrenia with which we live. It is, in the best tradition of children's fiction, both a delight and a warning, a moral illumination for us all about what is important, what isn't, and why. Chandana? Is she here? She may not be here yet.
Can you say a few words? It's always nice to be recognized for sheer lunacy. Thank you to the French Embassy and to the OUP for making this possible. I don't remember who said it, but if you ignore the criticism, you must also ignore the praise. I've always found those to be good words to live by. So I can't be more effusive than this. Also, I have some experience of winning. When I was 31, I won the table tennis tournament at the Karachi Gymkhana. And if you go into the Gymkhana table tennis hall, you will see my name up there on the champions list, except it says Chandana Minha, because they needed the S for the next year's winner. So thank you.
The award ceremony will be tomorrow.
Thank you. And our next award is for the KLF Coca-Cola Best Non-Fiction Book Prize for 2015. May I request Dr. Khalda Ghaus, jury member, to come on stage and say a few words about the winner of this prize. Dr. Khalda Ghaus, if she's here with us today. Well, that puts us into a little bit of a bind because the winner's name is with the jury member. So we do have Mr. Atif Bhutto of Coca-Cola Pakistan with us to award the prize. It would be good if we could find out who the winner is. Well, maybe we could do that at the end of our program and move on to the next one. I do apologize for this. And meantime, we'll send out a search party for Dr. Khalda Ghaus. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to come to the important part of our program this evening. Our keynote speakers for the 6th Karachi Literature Festival are Ms. Nayantara Sahgal and Ms. Zehra Nigah. May I request the internationally renowned Indian fiction and non-fiction writer and political commentator, Ms. Nayantara Sahgal, to give her keynote speech.
Let me begin by thanking my hosts for their kind invitation and for their lavish hospitality. In these troubled times, it is good that writers and readers can get together in comradeship and enjoy each other's company. And I'm truly glad to have this great opportunity to be here with all of you. When I was thinking of what to say here this evening, and I was trying to think of a working title to proceed from, and what kept coming to my mind was the title of a book of the 1940s by an English author, Douglas Reed. He called his book Insanity Fair, and it dealt with the war and politics of his time. But that disturbing title seems to me to be very relevant today. I know that we are here to celebrate literature, and of course, we must continue to celebrate it, especially because literature and the creative arts are in danger today. They are up against threat and intimidation. They have been under vicious and violent attack. The fury that words have roused, as well as paintings and caricatures and other forms of artistic expression, surrounds us with a climate that I can only call insane. And it is this climate that creative people now live in. Some of them are in the direct line of fire in many parts of the world. I can give you examples from my own country. India's most famous artist, Maqbool Fida Hussain, was forced into exile some years ago after his paintings were vandalized, his exhibitions were broken up. And very recently, a well-known Tamil writer called Perumal Murugan has been hounded out of his home and forced to stop writing because that same breed of intolerant right-wing Hindus have objected to a novel of his. Out of sheer despair and the need to protect himself and his family, Murugan, who is in his 40s and he is at the peak of his creative powers, has had to announce his death as a writer and has had to say that he will never put pen to paper again. At a festival of literature that I attended in Chennai just before coming here, I made the proposal that writers, artists, publishers, and concerned citizens should form a collective that would speak out loud and clear in support of writers when such things happened. And I hope this suggestion will go forward. That entire festival in Chennai, in fact, endorsed a resolution in support of Murugan. Well, it is the least that we can do to make sure that our most prized possession, which is our imagination, can continue to flourish, that we can continue to celebrate art and literature, continue to enjoy diversity, continue to speak in different voices, continue to value each individual vision and the importance of being different from one another. One of the horrors of this insanity fair of our time is that words are losing their meaning. Religion, for one, has been distorted to mean vengeance and violence. Well, only those who deal in words and only the stories they write can restore words to their true meaning. Does all this sound rather political? Yes, it does. Maybe because I have had my own unpleasant brush with censorship in the past, and I am committed to the fight against it. But all writing is political in the sense that it comes out of the atmosphere of its time. In earlier times, politics did not break into private lives. Napoleon's wars did not worry Jane Austen's characters. But in the 20th century, and now in our own century, politics has intimately and often painfully affected private lives. And therefore, it has become one more area of human experience for imagination to draw on. And powerful fiction has been the result of writers stepping into controversy and taking sides, not as polemics and not as propaganda. Their plays, their poems, their novels have not been about politics. They have been the outcome of politically conscious imaginations. So many names come to mind. Arthur Miller, Harold Pinter, Bertolt Brecht, William Faulkner, and Latin American writers and South African writers, among so many others. And the novels that I have read by Pakistani writers, Afghan and Nigerian writers show that the engagement of writers with the times they live in makes for the stuff of great writing. I've talked about cherishing our differences, but the other side of the story is the fact that every culture is the result of cross-fertilization by other cultures. There is no such thing as a pure race or a culture that is uninfluenced by other cultures. As individuals and as nationalities, we are all the result of encounters with others. There is no end to our involvement with strangers and the debts that we owe them for broadening our minds and enriching our lives, or the ways in which we in turn influence them. I live in North India, which is heir to an Islamic heritage, from its historic monuments to its religion, its music, its dance, language, food, and manners. In fact, with everything from the Taj Mahal to Rogan Josh. And speaking of language, when after India's independence it was being decided how many languages should be recognized as official Indian languages, a list of about 13 was drawn up. The Prime Minister, who was Jawaharlal Nehru, looked down the list and he said, "Why doesn't it include Urdu?" The official who was in charge said, "Because Urdu is nobody's mother tongue." Nehru said, "It is mine," and he added it to the list. Another story about Nehru. This one pertains to the question of censorship. He was asked by a famous Indian cartoonist, Shankar, to inaugurate his Shankar's Weekly of political cartoons. Nehru said, "I will inaugurate it on one condition, that you don't spare me." On that condition, he and Shankar agreed quite happily, and Shankar's Weekly became a popular favorite for its humorous and often its merciless cartoons of political figures, including Nehru. Let me tell you a little about my own involvement with the Islamic side of my heritage, which comes out in my fiction. I'll give you one example. In my novel, Mistaken Identity, the main protagonist is a man called Bhushan Singh. He's the handsome, idle son of a Hindu Raja. And he's obsessed with his search for his long-lost Muslim beloved. Bhushan Singh is a not very successful poet, but he is a successful lover, and he has a great talent for ballroom dancing. He neither knows nor cares anything about politics. So he's utterly bewildered when one night in 1929, he gets pulled off a train and dumped into jail with a bunch of communists and Gandhians for plotting to overthrow the King Emperor. This is a time of industrial and political agitation in India, and a number of conspiracy trials are taking place of men who are accused of conspiring to overthrow British rule. Bhushan Singh gets interrogated in court, and on some nights, the interrogation goes on and on and on in his brain while he sleeps. The prosecuting lawyer asks him what his religion is. Bhushan Singh, whose upbringing has made him a cultural mixture, says, "I am a Hindu Muslim." Well, obviously this does not satisfy the lawyer, who asks him what his mother tongue is. After thinking about it, Bhushan Singh replies, "Well, my mother tongue is poetry, but if you are going to finick about it, my mother tongue is Hindi and my father tongue is Urdu. My mother hails from the Sanskrit script, and my father hails from everything that hit us when Islam rode in. Let me assure you, my father would not know Hindi letters from a crab's crawl. The capital of his culture is Persia." The lawyer gets very angry, and he says, "This levity will not do. What are you, a Hindu or a Muslim?" "Well," says Bhushan Singh in his dream, "I dream in both languages. My diet and therefore my digestion are mostly Muslim. But my blood seems to flow in Hindu fashion, and my heart beats alternately to each." I've shared this episode with you because in Bhushan Singh, I see the sheer impossibility of prying two cultures apart because they are part of the same person. I see this as a metaphor for India. We are the result of mixture and cross-pollination, as I believe everyone on earth must be to some extent. In my own case, my cultural identity is a patchwork quilt of Indian and Western influences, of Hinduism, Islam, Buddhism, atheism, and Christianity. And it can never be reduced to anything simpler. I'm a fragmented person, and I am indebted to all those fragments for all that has gone into the making of me and into my writing. Writing has always crossed borders, but writers have only been able to do so in more recent times, migrating and settling and writing far from their places of origin. And this has produced a flood of literature that I think of as a new genre, different in subject and style, and responding to different stimuli from homegrown literature. Neither diasporic writing nor homegrown writing can substitute for each other. But those of us who live in societies that are in need of change, we know that battles for change, whether these are local, regional, or national, and above all, those that affect the lives of women, can only be fought on one's own soil. And every battle begins by putting it into words. We have to stay put to bring about change. We also have to stay put to remain sensitive to the sights and sounds and smells of our own particular environment. That bond between soil and story is a unique and irreplaceable bond. It comes out of a people's own history and geography, and shared memory and a collective consciousness. And it makes its own very special impact. I think it is especially important today for homegrown writing to be translated and published and to be widely read, so that literature does not get sucked into that all-encompassing state of affairs known as global. I'm a reader of detective fiction, and not long ago, I had the great good fortune to discover a Sicilian detective who is called Inspector Salvo Montalbano. This character could only have been created by an Italian writer living in Italy. The feel of Sicily, the politics of Sicily, the whole atmosphere of Sicily comes to life. In a politically corrupt environment, Salvo Montalbano is single-mindedly committed to justice, even to the extent of ignoring dangers to himself. He's also a natural gourmet with a huge appetite for the aromas and flavors of deliciously cooked food. And I promise you, I have never had such tantalizing glimpses of Italian dishes as those that Montalbano wolfs down. Happily for readers, these novels by the famous writer Andrea Camilleri are wonderfully translated, and clearly they have lost nothing in translation. I sometimes wonder why the craft of writing has come under such scrutiny. It hasn't happened to painting. It hasn't happened to sculpture. No critic sets out to analyze why does a painting have pink splashes on one side and green stripes on the other. or why the artist has put 3 noses on a face. But writing, for some reason, gets invasively analyzed. And there are theories about why this word and not some other word is used, or theories about the meaning of the word. It all sounds so complicated, considering that the craft of writing is really a question of staring out of the window until the right words come to mind. It reminds me of a story about Professor Einstein. A visitor who was in great awe of the great scientist asked Mrs. Einstein if her husband kept a very special notebook in which he jotted down any sudden inspiration that might occur to him. And Mrs. Einstein replied, "Oh my goodness, of course he doesn't. He just scribbles it down on his shirt cuff." Well, we now live in a world ruled by commerce, and I wonder how much the world of books and writing are affected by it. I wonder if War and Peace would have been published today. Maybe publishers would have rejected it for being too long and rambling and decided that enough copies of it will never sell. And writing in our time has also become a bit of a horse race, a competition for prizes. Well, writers have lived in all sorts of times, and they have gone on writing what they had to write. In open societies, in closed societies, in gulags, in every sort of situation. Let's face it, it's an urge, and no power on earth can prevent those who write from continuing to write. And I can think of no better note on which to end. Thank you so much.
I'd now like to request the eminent and highly regarded Pakistani Urdu poet, Ms. Zehra Nigah, to give her keynote speech.
मोअज़्ज़िज़ ख़वातीन व हज़रात, मोहतरम अकाबरीन महफ़िल, ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी प्रेस के ज़ेर एहतमाम होने वाला ये फेस्टिवल अब सिर्फ तालीमी हैसियत नहीं बल्कि तारीख़ी हैसियत इख्तियार करता जा रहा है। इसकी इफ्तिताही तकरीब में जब पहली बार मुझे दावत तकरीर दी गई तो मेरा पहला तासुर सिर्फ खुशी का था। दूसरी बार की दावत से कुछ खुशी के बजाय अपने बारे में मुझे कुछ गलत फहमी हो गई। लेकिन इन दिनों हमारे शहर की अदबी आबो हवा कुछ ऐसी है कि अपने बारे में न खुशी ज़्यादा देर तक रहती है और न गलत फहमी। मेरा ताल्लुक़ इस इदारे से सिर्फ़ एक अक़ीदतमंद का है, इंतज़ामिया से नहीं। इफ्तिताही तकारीर आम तौर से इंतज़ाम और इफ़ादियत के बारे में होती हैं और इस इदारे की जो फ़ायदा है वो उसका एहसास अपनी जगह मुसल्लम है और उसी के बलबूते पर मैं दोबारा ये जसारत कर रही हूँ। एक किस्सा याद आता है छोटा सा। एक तो सबसे पहले मुझे ये कहना था कि हम शायर बरादरी जो हमारी होती है, जब हम मशायरे में जाते हैं तो हम मुंतज़मीन से साजिश करते हैं कि किसी अच्छे शायर के बाद हमें मत बुलाना। इतनी अच्छी तकरीर के बाद अब आप किस तरह मेरी तकरीर को बर्दाश्त करेंगे, ये तो आप पे मुनहसर है। कहते हैं किसी शहर में मौसीकी का एक बहुत बड़ा जलसा होता था। मुल्कों से मौसीकार जमा होते और अपने कमाल का मुज़ाहरा करते थे और सामईन से दाद पाते थे। लेकिन अगर कोई गलती करता, यानी राग को बेसुरा कर देता या साज़ को गलत बजाता, तो सामईन में से कोई नामालूम फ़र्द उठ के उसे शूट कर देता था। आखिरकार इंतज़ामिया को एक बोर्ड लगाना पड़ा। वो इस तरह था कि लेडीज़ एंड जेंटलमैन, प्लीज़ डोंट शूट द सिंगर, एट लीस्ट ही इज़ ट्राइंग हिज बेस्ट। तो मेरी तकरीर को भी यही समझ के सुन लीजिए कि आई एम ऑल्सो ट्राइंग माई बेस्ट। मैंने जब अजीज़म आसिफ फर्रुखी को ये क़िस्सा सुनाया तो उन्होंने हस्ब दस्तूर नहायत अदब से जवाब दिया कि आप बिल्कुल फ़िक्र मत कीजिए, हम बहुत साबिर शाकिर कौम हैं, हर जुल्म आसानी से सह लेते हैं, तो तकरीर भी सुन लेंगे। कुछ दिनों कबल हमारे एक नहायत मेहरबान दोस्त पाकिस्तान आए। वो साल में एक चक्कर पाकिस्तान का ज़रूर लगाते हैं और हमेशा मुझे एक आला तोहफ़े से भी नवाजते हैं। वो तोहफ़ा अक्सर मशीनी होता है, क्योंकि जिस मुल्क में वो रहते हैं वो दूसरे मुल्कों में जंग लड़ने का और ईजादात का माहिर है। वो तोहफ़ा चूँकि अक्सर मशीनी होता है, इसलिए उनके हर तोहफ़े के बाद मुझे एक शेर याद आता है, मुझे याद नहीं किसका है किसी पुराने शायर का, कि है तकल्लुफ़ी सरासर ये जफ़ाए ताज़ा, मेरे सर अगले ही एहसान चले आते हैं। बहरहाल इस दफ़ा जो तोहफ़ा लाए तो फरमाया कि ये तोहफ़ा तो ऐसा है कि जो आपकी ज़िंदगी बदल देगा। मैंने अर्ज़ किया कि भाई, उम्र के जिस दौर में मैं हूँ उसमें ज़िंदगी बदलना न सिर्फ़ तकलीफ़ दे बल्कि बाज़ औक़ात बाइस शर्मिंदगी भी हो सकता है। जितनी बाकी रह गई है इससे ज़्यादा आसानी से कट ही नहीं सकती। कुछ घबरा से गए, बोले पिछले साल आपने फरमाया था कि आपके घर में किताबें बहुत हो गई हैं और अब उनकी देखभाल आपके लिए बहुत मुश्किल है। ये मशीन मैं ऐसी लाया हूँ कि उंगली की जुम्बिश से बस आपको फ़ौरन हर किताब मिल जाएगी। मैंने पूछा किताबों का क्या होगा, तो उन्होंने कहा किताबों की छुट्टी कर दीजिए और इसे रख लीजिए, आपका काम आसान। ख़वातीन व हज़रात, अब मैं अपने दोस्त को किस तरह समझाती कि अभी तक तो आलात एहसास मुरव्वत को कुचलने के काम आते थे, अब जुस्तुजुए इल्म को ख़त्म करने के लिए भी मैदान में उतर आए हैं। फिर इन ईजादात की उम्रें भी तो नहायत मुख्तसर हैं, रोज़ नए नए कली फुनने लगते हैं इनमें और पलक झपकते में ईजाद का नयापन ख़त्म हो जाता है। किताब तो हमको आँख खोल के नज़र आई और अब जब आँख बंद होने का वक्त है तब भी उसी दिलकशी के साथ नज़र आ रही है। हाँ, कुछ हर्फ धुंधले हो गए हैं, लेकिन इसमें किताब का कोई कसूर नहीं। उसकी जिल्द का एहसास, उसका छूना, उसके औराक की खनक, उसकी खुशबू, हुरूफ के दायरे, उनका बांकपन, इन सिफ़ात की जगह कौन ले सकता है। हम तो इसी के साथ जागे हैं और इसी को हाथ में पकड़े पकड़े हमें नींद भी आ गई है। ज़रा सोचिए, किताब के अलावा और कौन सी शय है जो नए और पुराने पन की क़ैद से आज़ाद है। क्या वाकई पुरानी किताब पुरानी होती है? ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी प्रेस का किताबों की सरपरस्ती के सिलसिले में सामने आना एक नहायत मुबारक फ़ाल है। ये इदारा किताबों से मोहब्बत का सबक पढ़ाता है और इस मेले की कामयाबी को देखकर यकीन हो जाता है कि लोग आज भी किताबों को देखना, ख़रीदना और पढ़ना चाहते हैं और किताबों के लिखने वालों से बातचीत भी करना चाहते हैं। अब देख लीजिएगा आप लोग कल कि किस तरह किताबों के स्टॉलों पर आपको मजमा नज़र आएगा। सारी दुनिया इस मंज़र को देख के सोचेगी कि पाकिस्तान के शहरी सिर्फ़ आपस में लड़ना या बेईमानी करना या बंदूक उठाना या डकैती करना या भत्ता लेना ही नहीं जानते, वो किताब पढ़ना चाहते हैं, तालीम हासिल करना चाहते हैं और इल्म की इज़्ज़त करना जानते हैं। इस हुजूम आशिक़ा में आपको हर तबके के लोग नज़र आएंगे, क्या मुतमव्विल, क्या औसत, क्या गरीब, क्या अमीर, और यही इस मेले की सबसे बड़ी खूबी है। ख़वातीन व हज़रात, किताबों ने न सिर्फ शऊर को जिला बख्शी है बल्कि मोहब्बतों को भी नहायत तहज़ीबी और इल्मी अंदाज से आगे बढ़ाया है। हमारे ज़माने में जो यकीनन पत्थर का ज़माना नहीं था, जब कोई लड़का लड़की एक दूसरे को पसंद करते तो सबसे पहला तोहफ़ा 99% किताब ही का होता था। कभी कभी इजहार मोहब्बत की जुर्रत ज़्यादा होती तो किताब के ख़ास पैराग्राफ या किसी शेर के नीचे लकीर खींच दी जाती। और सबसे अच्छी बात यह कि फ़रीक़ैन में भी इस पैराए इजहार को समझने की सलाहियत होती थी। शायद ये रस्म उस वक्त तक राइज थी, इसलिए राइज थी कि मोबाइल फ़ोन अभी वजूद में नहीं आए थे। सलाहियत पर भी एक छोटा सा किस्सा याद आया। मालूम नहीं ये खुशनसीबी है या बदनसीबी कि इन दिनों तालीम का मकसद सिर्फ़ पेशे के गुबार में उलझ के रह गया है। तालिब इल्म भी उसी उलझन में रहना पसंद करते हैं। वो भूल गए हैं कि अलावा मज़मून के कुछ और भी पढ़ें। तो MBA के एक तालिबा ने मुझसे पूछा कि आंटी एक बात मेरी समझ में नहीं आती, इस सिलसिले में मैं नयनतारा से माफ़ी भी मांगूंगी कि इंदिरा गांधी ने एक बूढ़े आदमी महात्मा गांधी से शादी क्यों कर ली थी। पहले मैंने सोचा कि वजाहत करूं, बतलाऊं कि महात्मा गांधी और फिरोज़ गांधी में कोई ताल्लुक़ नहीं था। फिर सोचा कि अब वजाहत से क्या हासिल होगा। मैंने जवाब दिया, बीवी बाज़ वक्त शादी का इंतखाब करते वक्त अक्ल खप्त हो जाती है। अल्लाह की नेक बंदी इस जवाब से बिल्कुल मुतमईन हो गई। फिर पूछा खप्त क्या होता है। मैंने कहा एक लफ्ज़ है जो कभी कभी अक्ल के साथ जुड़ जाता है। माशाअल्लाह वो अजीज़ा MBA में पोजीशन लेकर पास हुई। छोटे बच्चों को खिलौनों के साथ किताबों के तोहफे भी दिए जाते थे। बच्चे खिलौनों को भी उतना ही चाहते, किताबों को भी उतना ही, क्योंकि उस वक्त तक लैपटॉप वजूद में नहीं आया था। अब वो मंज़र निगाहों से ओझल हो गए जिसमें दालान दर दालान बड़े बड़े घरों में बूढ़ी नानियाँ दादियाँ बड़े बड़े पलंगों पे बच्चों को समेटे कहानियाँ सुनाया करती थी। इधर बच्चों ने मशीनों के ज़रिए अपने बचपन से जल्द अज जल्द छलांगे लगा लीं और उधर बकौल शख्स नानियों दादियों ने भी बूढ़ा होना छोड़ दिया। इधर बच्चे कार्टून देख रहे हैं, उधर नानी या दादी सलमान खान की फिल्म दबंग तीसरी बार देख रही हैं। हर तरफ इल्म और अक्ल के फरेरे उड़ रहे हैं। उधर मुन्नी बदनाम हो रही है, इधर घर का मुन्ना कार्टून के ज़रिए वो तमाम हल्की फुल्की गालियाँ सीख रहा है जो कसरते इस्तेमाल से अपना वज़न और वजाहत दोनों खो चुकी हैं। तब्दीली कोई नई बात नहीं है, तब्दीली तो हर ज़माने में आती है, आनी चाहिए। उस दौर को ज़्यादा दिन नहीं गुजरे हैं। कहना ये चाहती थी कि तब्दीलियाँ संजीदा कामों को रोकती नहीं हैं, बढ़ाती हैं। उस दौर को ज़्यादा दिन नहीं गुजरे जब मैंने प्रोफेसर सलाम को हाफिज़ और इकबाल के शेर सुनाते देखा, फैज़ साहब को तारीख़ पर गुफ्तगू करते देखा, सरकारी मुलाजिमों को अलावा रोब जमाने के शेर व अदब का रसिया देखा। कोई हिंदू मैथोलॉजी पे बात कर रहा है, पेशे के लिहाज से डॉक्टर है। कोई नज़ीर अकबर आबादी की शायरी पे काम कर रहा है, पेशा वकालत है। क्या लबो लहजा, क्या फ़ारसी, क्या अरबी, क्या उर्दू, क्या अंग्रेज़ी। अयूब खां के ज़माने में एक बिज़नेसमैन इलेक्शन हार गए थे, कतई आलिम फाजिल नहीं थे, मगर जब मिठाई बांटी तो उस पर लिखा मुकाबला तो दिले नातवा ने खूब किया। अब दैया कहाँ गए वो लोग, अभी अभी तो यहीं थे। मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है कि ऐसे लोग वापस आएंगे। हमारे शहर में तरह तरह के इदारे हैं, सरकारी भी और गैर सरकारी भी। अगर सरकारी इदारों की हालत नागुफ्ताबे है तो निजी इदारों की हालत भी कुछ गुफ्ताबे नहीं है। सब इदारों के सरबराह इदारों से ज़्यादा नुमायाँ नज़र आते हैं। यहाँ मीर का शेर याद आया कि मैं मस्त हो भी देखा कोई मज़ा नहीं है, होशियारी के बराबर कोई नशा नहीं है। अगर मीर अब होते तो यूँ कहते कि अफसरी के बराबर कोई नशा नहीं है। कभी कभी तो इतना ज़्यादा कि अफसरान अपने बुज़ुर्ग और अपने बीवी बच्चों को भी मातहती समझने लगते हैं। अमीना सैयद से मिलिए तो मुलायमत और मेहनत का ऐसा हसीन इम्तिज़ाज या कॉम्बिनेशन किसी भी इदारे के सरबराह के बहुत कम देखने में आता है। और ये भी समझ में आता है कि किसी भी इदारे की कामयाबी का इन्हिसार उसके सरबराह की मेहरबान तबीयत और मेहनत पर होता है। मैं अमीना को और उनके साथियों को इस इदारे की कामयाबी और इस मेले की शान व शौकत पर मुबारकबाद देती हूँ, दुआओं के साथ जो फ़िलहाल हम सबका वाहिद असासा रह गई हैं। आप सबका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
I'd like to now request Mr. Salman Tariq Qureshi, a jury member of the KLF Coca-Cola Best Fiction, Non-Fiction Book Prize, to say a few words about the winner of this prize. Yes, yes, please, up on the stage.
I'm a bit of an imposter at the moment because this role was to have been done by Dr. Khalda Ross. She's not here, so I've been asked to stand in. I notice Professor Jafar Ahmed is here. Would you like to join me, sir? Okay. Anyhow, we had chosen 3 books as the short list. These were Language, Gender and Power, The Politics of Hegemony in Asia, in South Asia, by Shahid Siddiqui. The Army and Democracy, Military Politics in Pakistan, very, very major topic, by Aqil Shah. And Ottoman Turkey, Ataturk, and Muslim South Asia, Perspectives, Perceptions, and Responses by Dr. Naim Qureshi. We deliberated a lot around these 3. There are many others, but these 3 stood out, and we deliberated a lot around them and finally came up with Dr. Naim Qureshi's book, Ottoman Turkey, Ataturk and Muslim South Asia, Perspectives, Perceptions and Responses. I'll ask Mr. Atif Bhutto to give this check to Mr. Naim Qureshi, and I'll ask him to come up to receive it.
May I request Dr. Naim Qureshi to please come on stage to receive the trophy and the award.
Members of the organizing committee, KLF, I'm deeply honored for this award. I'm sure the other books were equally interesting and credible. This is a topic which is very relevant today, and when I concluded my book, I thought that the Muslim world would probably not get out of it, the turmoil I mean. And this has come out right, particularly so when marauding hordes are devastating the Middle East and our own country as well. I believe that it seems that authoritarianism is in our DNA, and hope we can embrace democracy sometime. I would like to thank Ameena, Saiyid and Asif Farrukhi in particular, and other members of the KLF organizing committee, and also the members of the jury and the sponsors of this prize, that's a Coca-Cola. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Now what? Ladies and gentlemen, with that we come to a brief pause in our program for this evening. There will be a performance by Nighat Chaudhry, which begins at 8 o'clock. We need to prepare the stage for her. I'd like to thank all our distinguished guests. I'd like to thank our distinguished keynote speakers and our sponsors who've been with us this evening. I hope that you will stay for the performance and meantime use this time in between to meet up with the authors and those who will be participating in the Karachi Literature Festival. Thank you. Classical Kathak dance performance by Nighat Chaudhry.
Good evening, everyone. I've been told that I'm supposed to speak a little, so I thought I will come and just give you a brief run through of the pieces I'm going to do tonight, going to perform. First of all, I'd like to thank KLF for inviting me to perform. It's an honor to be here tonight, such a lovely audience. And back in Karachi, where I once lived, now I'm in Lahore. I start my show with a salutation to the Sufi saints that have walked this earth. I bend and surrender to the highest force of Mawla Hazrat Ali as my opening piece, as he is the source of the saints that we see in the subcontinent today. And that is the light that comes from Mawla Ali, that comes into all the Qalandars, all the Sufi saints that spread love and the message of togetherness and humanity, and where there are no borders and there's no color, there's no creed, it's just love. So I start my surrender with that piece. My second piece is a romantic Thumri. Thumri means a romantic lyric that is repeated. And through expression, I will be showing the pranks of Radha and Krishna, playing with color as Krishna keeps spraying Radha with color. But her love is divine for him. So you will feel at times the divinity of Radha, and you will feel the earthly existence of them both as human beings. My third piece is a technical piece that is a very strong and important element in Kathak dance. It is the technique where you will see footwork and certain aspects of the repertoire where I will be showing different postures, stopping in tukras, doing the footwork, and showing swift pirouettes, technical, lot of footwork, graceful linear movements, painting. The body is like a paintbrush, and the stage is like my canvas. So in the technique, you will feel that. After I finish my teen tal, it will be rendered in 16 beats, which is the mother tal in classical dance and music of the subcontinent. After that, I will go into a spiritual piece again, which is the depiction of Meera, a piece that I've recorded from India, and it depicts Meera as a child when she asks her mother, "Okay, when will I get married?" And her mother, as a 7-8-year-old daughter, hands her a statue of Krishna And she says that you are married to Krishna. So she takes the statue, and being such a vulnerable young girl, she falls in love with Krishna, and she recognizes the statue and the symbolism of Krishna being her husband. The spiritual bond between Meera and Krishna, she renounces the world. So in the piece that I'll be showing the stages and how Meera did this was that she would go around the streets and she would sing songs of Krishna. Okay, how did he become blue? How did he fight the snake? How he, went and stole the butter when he was a child. So that you'll see little aspects and how she sits amongst the saints and she's looked down upon. But still, she goes and disappears into the love and divinity of Krishna, and she becomes one with him. My last piece will be a tarana, which again is in Rag Kalavati, and it's a beautiful piece that I have chosen for this evening because it's very lyrical and it's very close to my heart. It has been choreographed by Shashwati Sen and Birju Maharaji, and I've added aspects of my own. And I'd like to thank my gurus for where I am today. One person, Firdaus Haider, my Murshid, Sayyid Safdar Ali Kalandar Baba, Nahid Siddiqui, Pandit Durga Lal Ji. Because without these people, I wouldn't be where I am today. Thank you.
देगी गारी ना मारो शाम पीछे कारी ना मारो शाम पीछे कारी मोरी बीजे चुनरिया सारी मोरी बीजे चुनरिया सारी मोरी सास ननदिया देगी गारी ना मारो शाम पीछे कारी ना मारो शाम पीछे कारी सखियां करे ठिठोरी 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 सखियां करे ठिठोरी कहे हंस के निगोरी पूछे क्यों गगरी सच कह दे तू गोरी शर्म की मारी मैं तो हाय मर जाऊं मैं तो शर्म की मारी मैं तो हाय मर जाऊं मैं तो शाम तुम जीते और मैं हारी हारी ना मारो शाम पीछे कारी ना मारो शाम पीछे कारी पीछे कारी पीछे कारी हटो जाओ ना छेड़ो ना नंद जी के छे हटो जाओ ना छेड़ो ना नंद जी के छे अब मैं पढ़ूं तोरे पैया रे भाई घर जाने दे हटो जाओ ना छेड़ो ना नंद जी के छे हटो जाओ ना छेड़ो ना नंद जी के छे नंद जी के छे ब्रिज की गलियन में धूम मचाई ब्रिज की गलियन में धूम मचाई रोकी डगर पे बंसी बजाई रोकी डगर पे बंसी बजाई गए सब बलिहारी मैं हारी गए सब बलिहारी मैं हारी नंद जी के छे हटो जाओ ना छेड़ो ना नंद जी के छे हटो जाओ ना छेड़ो ना नंद जी के छे नंद जी के छे नंद जी के छे ना मारो शाम पीछे कारी मोरी बीजे चुनरिया सारी मोरी बीजे चुनरिया सारी मोरी सास ननदिया देगी गारी ना मारो शाम पीछे कारी पीछे कारी पीछे कारी
दिल में तेरी याद सखा मिल गए ग्वालिन घर। कृष्ण सखा मिल गए ग्वालिन घर। कृष्ण सखा मिल गए ग्वालिन घर। फिरत फिरत घर देख लियो, तब ग्वाल के कांधे चढ़ माखन उतार लियो और खाए लियो। दद की मटकी झटकी पटकी और दूध को पिए बखेर दियो। पकड़ लियो राधा ने जब तक ग्वाल बाल सब भाग गए। दद खाए गए देखो नारायण ताल बजा के नाचन लागे। किट थे तथे तथे तकिट थे तथे तथे तकिट थे तथे तथे।
मैया मोरी ने नहीं माखन खायो। मैया मोरी में नहीं माखन खायो। सुन मैया मोरी में नहीं माखन खायो। मैया मोरी में नहीं माखन खायो। भोर भाए गैयन के पाछे मधुबन मोहे पठायो। भोर भये गैयन के पाछे मधुबन मोहे पठायो। चार प्रहर बंसी बट भट क्यों। चार प्रहर बंसी बट भट क्यों। सांझ भई घर आयो। सांझ भई घर आयो। री मैया मोरी मैं नहीं माखन खायो। सुन मैया मोरी मैं नहीं माखन खायो। मैं बालक बहियन को छोटो छीके की विधि पायो। मैं बालक बहियन को छोटो छीके की विधि पायो। ग्वाल बाल सब बैर पड़े हैं। ग्वाल बाल सब बैर पड़े हैं। बरबस मुख लिपटायो। बरबस मुख लिपटायो। री मैया मोरी मैं नहीं माखन खायो। सुन मैया मोरी मैं नहीं माखन खायो।
जाके सिर मोर मुकुट सुवन जल सींच सींच प्रेम बेरी पोए अब तो बेर ठहर गए आनंद हर होई मेरे तो गिरधर गोपाल 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 गोविंद गोपाल गोविंद गोपाल हरि हरि गोविंद गोपाल गोविंद गोपाल गोविंद गोपाल गोविंद गोपाल पग घूंघरू बाजे मेरा नाची कोई कहे मेरा भाई सावरी कोई कहे गुणनाशी है विष का प्याला राणा ने भेजा पीवत मीरा हंसी रे मैं तो अपनी नारायण की हो गई अब दासी रे छाड़ी गई फूल की कारी कहाँ कारी है कोई संतन दिख बैठी बैठी संतन दिख बैठी बैठी संतन दिख बैठी बैठी लोक लाज कोई अब तो मेरा भाई बाबरी अब तो मेरा 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 अब तो मेरा भाई बाबरी लोग कहे चाहे कोई मेरे तो वीर घर मेरे तो वीर घर मेरे तो गिरधर गोपाल मेरे तो गिरधर Dana
Thank you, everyone. Ali Imam Saiba, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. She has always been there throughout all my performances. There are certain people जो scenes के पीछे होते हैं मगर अहम होते हैं. Ameena Saiyid, we must thank her for putting this all together. Oxford University Press, thank you. And I'd like to thank Shaima Sayyid somewhere. I'm sure she's here for coordinating and being superb in getting me across here. And I have no words. It was an honor for me. Fabulous audience. All the people part of Oxford University Press, I'd like to thank them. And I hope कि इस तरह मैं आती रहूं और इस तरह से बेहतर performance किया कर. Thank you. Love you all. You were amazing. Thank you, Ameena ji. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you and good night. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, we come to the end of our inaugural program this evening. We look forward to welcoming you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, or before that, for the Literature Festival. I'd like to especially thank Nighat Chaudhry for her most enchanting and wonderful performance. Thank you and good night.